The tallest people in the world. So you're telling me that you're tall, huh? Well, wait until you meet the people in this top 10. All of them pushed the envelope of height and almost reached the clouds. Check it out by yourself next. Number 10, Patrick Cotter O'Brien. The size of Patrick Cotter O'Brien took the 19th century by storm. He was born in 1760, and there was no other man on Earth that could reach his height since he was 8 feet 1 inch tall, eclipsing everyone around him. This giant came from Cork County in Ireland, and even though his real name was Patrick Cotter, he adopted the name O'Brien to use it in his shows at the local circuses. Having his new name, he claimed to be a descendant of legendary giant Brian Boru, a personage in Irish history. But the performance came to an end since he died from the possible effects of gigantism. As there was no casket for him, 14 men took turns to bear his remains to his resting place. Patrick specified in his will that he had to be buried 12 feet deep with solid rock, so exhumation of his body for scientific purposes couldn't be done. Number 9, a draw. Everything's bigger in the United States, and there's no doubt that the men in this number have proved it. Bernard Coyne came from this country, where he was born in Iowa in 1897 and was 8 feet 2 inches tall. He was the tallest person who suffered from Marfan syndrome, which affects the body's connective tissue, and many people that suffer from it have disproportional and long limbs. Coyne died in 1921 and was buried in a specially made coffin. This country was also the birthplace of another human tower called Dan Kohler, who was 8 feet 2 inches tall. Kohler was born in Denton, Montana in 1925, and ever since, people noticed that he was special. Once his growth was obviously excessive, he moved to Chicago to work and met the owner of Harlem Globetrotters, the basketball team that he made a world tour with. This big guy died in 1981 from heart failure, but Windy City will never forget his presence. Number 8, Jinnat Ali. You can find a lot of surprises in Bangladesh, and one of them is Jinnat Ali, who was the tallest man in that country. Jinnat Ali was 8 feet 2.03 inches tall, and oddly enough, at the age of 23, he didn't stop getting bigger, so he had to eat 2.2 pounds of food a day to maintain the necessary muscular mass and weight to survive. He was diagnosed with acromegaly, which is a disorder that occurs when the body produces too much growth hormone in the pituitary gland. So he grew disproportionately since childhood. Unfortunately, in 2018, doctors advised Ali he had a brain tumor, and this information was devastating for the national figure. Ali died in April 2020 from complications of this tumor. Number 7, Sultan Kosin. Even though Sultan Kosin is not the tallest man ever, in 2009, Guinness World Records recognized his height, so he became the world's tallest living man, as he was 8 feet 2.82 inches tall. He's that tall due to a condition that affected its growth hormone in the pituitary gland. So, this Turkish man couldn't finish high school for that reason. His height gave him a big advantage at some things like seeing from far away and helping his family with household chores, such as hanging curtains and changing light bulbs. However, it was hard for him to find suitable clothes and a car where he could fully fit in because, this is almost an impossible mission. In 2013, Kosin married his Syrian girlfriend Merve Debo, and they have a good relationship. Incredible! Number 6, a draw. Now I'm going to tell you about two giants that came from the two largest countries in the world. One of them is India, that was home to Vikas Uppus, the tallest man in the history of India since he was 8 feet 3 inches tall. This man was born in the state of Haryana in 1986, and being strikingly tall made him a local celebrity. He was so famous he even played a role in the Bollywood movie Rang De Basante, released in 2006. And now, coming from Canada, this is Edouard Beaupré, the giant of the nation. At 7, he was of average height, but at 9, he unexpectedly stood at 5.11 feet tall. Being 8 feet 3 inches tall caught the audience's attention at international circuses such as the Barnum and Bailey Circus. Unluckily for him, after signing a contract with the circus to perform an affair, Edward died at age 23 from a pulmonary hemorrhage caused by tuberculosis. Number 5, Väinö Mullinen. People in Finland are tall, but Väinö Mullinen surpassed all. He was 8 feet 3.15 inches tall. At one time, he was the world's tallest living man thanks to his size. You can see in these pictures the size difference between Mullarin and the other regular-sized people in his country. Väinö was born in Helsinki and the tallest soldier in the Finnish army. But during the 1930s, he traveled around Europe as a professional wrestler and even performed in circuses. Finally, in 1939, he went back to Finland to serve his country and fight in the Winter War against the Soviet Union. This giant died in 1963 in Helsinki, and his country still remembers